Hey guys, Ryan here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another video. This time, actually be two videos, one in the T-100 LT and the other one in the FCM 50T. So, the reason I'm doing this is like the first game isn't a good game at all, and I want you to bear in mind, everyone who's watching who's a light tank player, I am a shit light tank player. I'm not very good in it. The only reason I went for a light tank is because there's an achievement where you have to have at least one tier 10 of every class of vehicle. And the Russian tier 10 had 40mm side armor, meaning I can actually side scrape a lot of tanks in it, so 120mm guns and lower. That's the only reason I picked T-100 LT. The reason I'm showing this video is, it kind of carries on from the Kranwagen video I uploaded yesterday, which is, the game's going to go very wrong very quickly, and I'm going to give up on the win and just go for trying to get myself as good a game as possible. And I think that's a fair thing to do. I mean, you've tried to do all you can to try and win the game initially. Once it goes to shit, just try and get yourself a good result. So, we're on Karelia. Each team has 2 light tanks, but the enemy team also has 2 Batchats, which are also light tanks, basically, and they have a lot of TDs to snipe for said light tanks, including the Sheridan on the enemy team actually being platooned with 2 E4s. So they have a bit of an advantage from the start, but nothing too big. So far I've got one shot into the light tank, and I want to go around that corner and spot, but if I get spotted myself, I can get shot at from the hill. And I also thought that my team were going to go to that hill, but instead most of them are on the side of the map that I'm at. Another shot in there, the light tank crashes into a rock, so because he crashed into a rock I decided to take the blind shot anyway. And I get another hit. So that's 3 shots into the light tank. All's good. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to try and use this bush to peek round. I don't want to move too far forward because there's Batchats around the place, and Batchats are like the best light tank killer in the game. As you can see, there's one just skulking behind that rock there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay here for a moment to keep him spotted, but then I'm going to realise no one can actually hit him, so there's no point me being here anymore. So when I realise there's no point me being here because no one can do anything, and therefore I'm not doing anything, I decide to fuck off. So I spot him again, nothing happens. I have a look at the map, and I think, fuck this. I need to relocate because I'm not doing anything where I'm at. So when I play light tanks, it's a bit weird, because like, I think I'm trying too hard to play like the stereotypical light tanks and like sit in a bush and try and do spotting. When I realize I should just play a light tank how I want to play it, which is just drive in, side scrape, fucking use my gun, try and get as much damage as possible, because I'm not really one for spotting assistance, is how I should put it. Like, I'm not one for spotting, I'm one for getting decent damage in light tanks. At which point I might as well just be playing a medium tank, because medium tanks have much better guns than light tanks. So I've been spotted, a lot of our team's dead, about half of them. They've lost 1 tank to me. I'm just thinking, what the fuck can I do? So I'm going to try and spot people on the hill. And the other thing is, I know I'm shitting light tanks. The reason I play light tanks is because I've had a few games where, say, artillery's just been dicking all over me. Sometimes, because I play heavy tanks a lot, it's just nice to go out in a tank that's as fast as a light tank and just, you know, have that freedom to drive around full speed, and it's just a lot of fun driving light tanks, to be fair. I said the maneuverability, the speed, the games are a lot more interesting. So you see they've lost 1 tank that I've killed, and we're down to 2 tanks. So now it's time for me to go play for myself. So what I've decided is, I'm going to make the run for the artillery. Just about missed the APCR shell from the E4. Their T-100 LT's killed himself. And you're going to say, most of our tanks have been spotted at our side of the map. I'm going straight for the artillery. So I've had to leave Felix, because there's just, with this many tanks, there's nothing I can do for him, and he's got a Batchat on him as well, I believe. So basically, the game's gone to shit. I've done 1,000 damage. I'm just thinking, artillery's going to be an easy kill, unless they shotgun me, and also I can get myself Pascucci's medal. And I've been getting a lot more Pascucci's medals recently, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because there's more artillery than usual. in the matchmaker? Probably not, just for some reason I'm surviving long enough and the artillery's surviving long enough for me to go find them. Which usually doesn't happen. I'm usually dead before I get to the artillery. Now the thing about the T-100 LT is, from my experience, is it's more accurate on the move than it is when stationary. Which is a really weird thing to say, but it genuinely feels like that. Staying on the move. T-92 misses me, still gets me with a bit of splash. That's one artillery down. I know the T-92's fired now, but I can't stay still because they're coming for me, so I'm just not going to stop. Stay moving. The T-92's actually fallen over, so nice easy kill there. And I said I'm just dicking around and having fun, because what I'm going to do is, after I missed a shot here, I'm like saying to Spandeck, I'm going to like try and go for like a 180 handbrake turn and kill. And I wasn't expecting it to work, but it actually turned out alright for me, which is quite nice. And that's the thing about light tanks. I'm not very good in them, so I don't have good games, but I just have a lot of fun in them, because I'm laughing right now, because like, I'm getting chased down by the entirety of their team, and just trying to avoid all the shots. Basically, it's quite funny to see how long you can survive. Their Batchat just killed themselves, by the way. So basically, with their T-100 LT and Batchat killing themselves, what that means is, this game, the enemy team lost 6 tanks. 2 of them killed themselves, and I killed the other 4. So I'm the only person on my team to get a kill. So, that game went to shit so quick, like we were getting absolutely ruffle stomped. But I got 2700 damage and a Piscucci's medal, which, given the nature of how that game was going, I think is a pretty decent result for myself. So yeah, playing Shellfist at the end, basically just to, there's no point me having a bad game when the rest of the team is as well. I might as well try my best to do what I can. So that just kind of went on from the Kramwagen video yesterday where I said about just play for yourself when the game is lost. Don't do it from the start of the game, try and help your team, but there's a certain point where it's okay if you just play for yourself. Now the second video, FCM 50T, a brand new premium tank I bought, because I've started doing the Batchat line, and I don't have any friends tanks for crew training. I'm playing the tier 5 and 6 light tank without the view range skills and 6th sense is painful. So I got this for crew training. Partly because I don't see too many of these, and also because looking at the statistics, it looks awesome. Now, as I said, this game also isn't the best. I'm showing you this because this was my first ever game in it. Just to kind of show generally what my first game was in this tank. So, instead of talking about too much what I'm doing, I'm just going to go over the tank. So, the FCM 50T, what is it? Friends tier 8 heavy tank with preferential matchmaking. Although, just like the KV-5, I do and will take this thing in the tier 10 games. So for a preferential tank, it's got 212mm standard penetration and 259 APCR, which is great, compared to the KV-5, which is 167 standard and 217 premium. So this thing's penetration, perfectly reasonable. It's fast for a heavy tank, because it's French, so of course it is. Got over 18 power to weight ratio and a top speed of 50 km an hour. It gets 8 degrees of gun depression, which is good gun depression. 8 degrees and 9 degrees are good, 10 degrees and above is amazing gun depression, in my opinion. It's got 400 meters base view range at tier 8, which is only matched by, I believe, for tier 8 heavy tanks, the T-32 and the Carnarvon. And I love both those tanks, so I love view range, so this thing has that. It also has 18mm of side armor, so it can side scrape, and like even Death Stars cannot overmatch this. But at the same time, the frontal armor of this thing, both turret and hull, is kinda shit. So, bear that in mind if you ever do want one of these. You can't brawl on it, the frontal armor's wank. It will work against lower tier mediums and lights, but not against much else. But the side armor, very thick, you can side scrape in it. And now, for me the most surprising thing was, I knew that this tank had a 90mm gun with 240 alpha damage, a bit like a Patriot. And I knew it had a decent rate of fire, but the Patriot's known for having good DPM, so I thought that this wouldn't have the same rate of fire as a Patriot, and it doesn't. The FCM 50T, as I just found out after buying it, actually has a faster rate of fire, and therefore more DPM than a Patriot does. And considering this thing doesn't have to fight tier 10s when you're playing by yourself with other preferentials, means you can just shred enemy tanks so quick. The other thing you may have noticed is that it carries 91 shells of ammo, which is ridiculous, so you see I bring a lot of premium rounds just because I can. because even with that many premium rounds, I'm never realistically going to run out of standard shells. And even though it's only a 90mm gun and doesn't have good penetration or alpha damage on the high explosive shells, I bring 15 anyway, again, just because I can. I always like tanks that carry lots of ammo because I love to have the ability to bring standard, premium and high explosive. Even if they're shit, just being able to bring them and not having to use them is better than not being able to bring them. So this game, on this map, another reason why I like this tank is, usually on maps like this, El Alamein, Nomahan, the big open maps, if I'm in a heavy tank, I'm usually not too pleased, as you know, I'd rather a Himmelsdorf or something. Because this tank is fast and got 400 meter view range, even on like this map, I came up the hill using my speed and view range to try and spot. On Nomahan and everything, again, you can use the speed and you can use the view range to still make yourself useful, even on the bigger maps that, like, if you're in a, say you're in a KV4 or a KV5, is a bit more painful to play. So this is kind of a good all-rounder for me, and I think it's the perfect tank, because city maps I can side scrape, the big maps I can spot, the gun is really nice, and just overall I think this is a underrated vehicle, because I cannot remember the last time I saw one of these. So as you see, up on the hill, our team's winning quite comfortably, and now we've got a Lerva and a 53 TP, and unfortunately for me, these things hold down, sorry, a brick as well, these things hold down are actually quite strong. And you're going to see that I don't really have the time to aim in, because I don't want to stay still when there's an artillery. Something else to mention, the FCM-50T reverses at 20 kilometers an hour, which for a heavy tank is really nice. That's like medium tank levels of reverse speed there. So for walking backwards and forwards to try and help dodge artillery, this tank is really good at that. So you see, I'm trying to get the shots in here, but obviously, being the FCM-50T, its frontal hull and even its turret is not very strong, so you can't quite go hold down on this against equal and higher tier tanks. And even like tier 7 heavy tanks will probably pen through your turret. The front turret's about 120mm thick, I believe, and also has a bit of a cupola that's very weak. So the only real armor you can rely on this thing is the side armor for side scraping. Well, as I said, I didn't get it for the armor per se, I got it for the view range. The equipment I use on this thing, I think I put on coated optics, because I put that on all my heavy tanks, gun rammer, and I can't remember what my third piece of equipment was. I don't think I put vents on, I may have put vertical stabilizer. I think I did actually, because I think I actually put, like, the equipment load that I put on this is basically what I put on my medium tanks. So vertical stabilizer, coated optics, and gun rammer, and I just played it like a medium tank. So see, we were able to win the hill this game, and on this map, winning the hill is very, very useful. I pretty much always go to the hill on this map. I'm trying to think of a situation where I think in a light tank I sometimes go field and try and use like the bushes and whatnot, but apart from that I mostly use the hill. Spandex has killed the artillery. I've not quite realised yet, hence why you see me just doing a quick circle there, because I'm trying to avoid the artillery that doesn't exist anymore. Nice shot into the cupola, the 53 TP. And bear in mind, look at the reload rate of this thing. I only had 6th Sense and repairs on this tank at the time of this game, I believe. I've since gotten both view range skills on it. So, the crew is now good enough for the light tank that was in, because I'm on the AMX-12T at the moment. You may not see footage of that tank, and I only say that because, again, I was saying in the T-100 LT video, I'm the shittest light tank driver you will ever see, and I've not really had any noteworthy games in the light tanks, and who knows if I ever will. So, you might see some gameplay footage from the French bat chat line on my way up, but at the same time, don't expect anything, because I'm shit. So my very first game in this tank, just as a tester, 2800 damage, 1400 assistance, on a map that usually isn't very good for heavy tanks. So, I know this wasn't the best video, so I will also have an Ace Tanker video for you guys later tonight, in the machine, just to make up for the fact this wasn't really a video of good gameplay. So, thank you guys for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.